Hello, and welcome to Chapter 2 of Principles of Marketing. This is Amanda Malave from the University of Hawaii. So we are now going into Chapter 2, and Chapter 2 is really a deeper dive into partnering to build customer engagement, value, and relationships. As we talked about in Chapter 1, identifying who your target market is, what their needs and wants are, how you're going to position yourself through the 4 Ps, and how you're going to market yourself in order for the customer to know what you have to offer, and then building a relationship with them through customer service and engagement is super critical. So what we're going to talk about today is, well, how does this all start? How does the goals get started? How does the marketing plan get created? And how do you use your entire distribution lines, product lines, identify which products you're going to sell, etc. It's a really, really in-depth look into, from start to finish, how you identify visions of your company all the way down to how do you implement and execute a marketing plan. So let's get started. So today's learning objectives are: we're going to explain how a company creates a strategic plan. It's in 4 steps. We'll discuss how to design business portfolios, meaning how to design what products are going to be sold and in what kind of units, and how to develop growth strategies. We're going to explain marketing's role in strategic planning and how marketing works to partner with others to create and deliver value, which again, value equals profits. We're going to describe the elements of customer-driven marketing strategy and the forces that influence it. And then we're going to talk about marketing plans and the importance of managing it and also really measuring it. Nowadays, measurement is everything. Every decision that marketing makes will go through a business analysis where at the end of the day, you must make a marketing return on investment. So we'll start with how a company makes a company-wide strategic plan in these 4 steps. The first step is usually you define the company mission statement. It's your purpose, your promise to your employees, and also to your customers, and it should be compelling and aspirational. Then they set company objectives and goals. And again, the whole goal is to be profitable. And they also identify, okay, from the profits that they've made, how are they going to invest? And are they going to invest in research? Are they going to invest in expansion? Or are they going to invest in buying other companies? So objectives are super critical. And then from there, they're going to evaluate and design a business portfolio. Okay, so here's our objectives. What products are we going to use? Where are we going to position it? What business units we're going to give money to? What business units are we going to close? We're going to downsize, upsize, etc. And then the last part is at the business unit level. So usually large corporations have smaller business units, and at that level, they're going to create marketing and functional strategies with the objective of having marketing objectives that increase market share, create local partnerships, because more than likely these large corporations are global. So you want to have local flavor as well. And therefore you have local relationships. So for example, the company that we're going to be talking about as in our example today is a global organization all around the world. And then you also want to increase promotion, increase awareness of your brand. So let's start with vision statements. Today's vision statement is a company that is huge. And at times I will use examples of great companies that just have spot on, incredible marketing strategies. And sometimes I will use examples of great companies that make a lot of money, but maybe they don't have the best examples. And sometimes you learn even better from not so great examples as you would a good example. So let's take a look at this vision statement. And can you figure out who this company is? So I'm going to read this. This company brings together truly exceptional houses. Each of them creates products that embody unique savoir-faire, a carefully preserved heritage, and a dynamic engagement with modernity. These creations make our house ambassadors of a distinctly refined art de vivre. So, sorry for my French, but I don't know what this brand is from this value statement, and it certainly doesn't tell employees what they're about or a customer what's it about. But this brand is hugely successful. So guess who it is? Some people might say it's a real estate company. Some people might say it's a architect company. But what it really is Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. So they do have fashion houses. That's why you also have the French. But again, we'll take a look at this vision statement in detail and showcase where they could have done it a little bit differently to be even more effective. So just a little history on Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. There are 130 brands, everything from Christian Dior to Fendi to Louis Vuitton to Moet Hennessy to restaurants to Sephora and the Tea Galleria. The Tea Galleria is a duty-free shopping here in Hawaii and at the airport. They are huge. So let's take a look at what Forbes says about them. Forbes rates them as a number 20 most valuable brand in the world. They generate about $28.8 billion. They're up there with the Walmarts and Amazons of the world. But the difference is that Walmarts and Amazons of the world have a profit margin between 7 and 14%. Louis Vuitton is one of the most, if not the most, one of the most profitable brands in the world with a 30% profit margin. That's because luxury brands have a huge profit margin. So the strategic goal setting and getting to a marketing plan always starts off with defining the company vision. And again, we talked about this vision not being the most effective. And so let's look at what steps are required to make a vision statement effective. And again, we have the little target here, meaning that ding, 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 this is an important area for you to read the chapter. And there's a lot of examples in there, and you'll need to know these examples and how to differentiate them for the exams. So normally, company vision statements that are effective, you know what the business is really, really clearly. It's very market orientated. It's speaking to that customer. It satisfies a business, the business, employees, and also the customer's basic needs. It's really inspiring, meaningful, and motivational, and it emphasizes a company's strengths. In this particular case, I mean, it's got some great words in it, but it doesn't do much for identifying the customer basic needs or who the target market is or the company's strengths per se. But this is how it usually starts. So some really great brand examples are in the book, and I highly recommend that you go look at them. But these are the steps that you would go through to identify a good company vision statement. Once you identify your company vision statement, he wants to be the largest fashion house in the world, the modern fashion house, and he wants to be profitable, obviously. That's what he was trying to say in his vision statement. So he has to set up a company objective. So he owns 130 brands. His name is Grupe Arnault. He's the CEO of Louis Vuitton. He lives in France, and he will set up a overall corporate objective for every business unit to be 31%. Why is that? Because Forbes says that they make about 30% profit margin. Well, you always want to continue to grow so that you can continue to get investors to invest in your growth as well. So his organizational structure is deep. He's got 5 business units and then also a subunit of Christian Dior and Christian Dior Couture. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So he's identified his vision statement. He wants to be the biggest fashion house in the world, and modern, and have that French quality to it. He identified a 31% profit margin goal across all the business units. So now he's got to identify, well, which products are we going to sell in each business unit? So let's talk about what a strategic business unit is. An SBU. It's a company division. It's a product line within a division or a single product or brand. So let's take a look at wines and spirits. So for example, wines and spirits is a strategic business unit, but Moet is also a business unit under it, and Dom Perignon is a business unit under it. So each one of them will have different goals based off of the product lines. So Louis Vuitton, which is huge and sells billions of dollars worth of assets, it's under the fashion and leather goods strategic business unit. And then duty free shopping, which is here in Waikiki, which is that great big mall down in downtown Waikiki, they are under the selective retailing. So based off of that, they identify what products are going to go under each retail store, so for example, Louis Vuitton is not at duty free shopping, and duty free shopping products are not at Louis Vuitton. The next step is, after identifying the goals and who the strategic business units are and the products, is defining the marketing objectives. So they'll generally give you, the CEO will give all of the presidents of those different business units, like the leather goods and the wines and spirits and the selective retailing, they'll give you generic goals about what they want from a marketing standpoint. So here is an example of what Louis Vuitton gave their business units. They want you to acquire new brands. They want you to be independent and maintain creativity. They see how it says requirement of profitability. They want to make sure that you have control over your quality. They want you to diversify, and they want to be synergetic across the marketing and distribution plans. They don't want to dilute their brand or their marketing efforts in any way, shape, or form. So generally, this is what you'll get if you're a president of one of those business units, and then you're going to filter it down, and then you're going to create marketing plans off of it. So let's discuss how business portfolios and growth strategies are created. So the first step that the CEO and his presidents are going to do is they're going to identify what are those major groups of business units that we're going to have and what's going to be under it. Then we're going to assess the business units, which are attractive, which are not attractive. Where am I going to invest my money? Who am I going to close? Who am I going to downsize? Who's going to get more marketing dollars? So this is a way of identifying through metrics and identifying where you want to grow based off of the products and the customers' wants and needs. So let's just review one more time what the strategic business units of Louis Vuitton. They got wines and spirits, fashion and leather goods. We're going to focus on Louis Vuitton. They got fragrances and cosmetics, watch jewelry, and selective retailing. So Louis Vuitton is under fashion and leather goods, and they're also competing against Givenchy and Fendi. And the CEO is going to be looking at the financial statements of all of these brands to see who's going to get the most marketing dollars. So Louis Vuitton's going to create a portfolio and a plan of what they want to do to expand and penetrate and grow to make sure that they get to that 31% profit margin, because staying the same is not going to get where you need. So Louis Vuitton knows that it's got a Japanese Louis Vuitton store and that it's an existing product and an existing market. So they're going to use what's called a product market expansion grid to help them identify, what are they going to do with these different product lines in order to grow. So they also have the opportunity to go into new markets and new products. So one of the things that they identified was, Africa, the economy is going really well there. luxury is in. So let's expand into an African store. And we're going to go into, different airports, for example. They're also going to continue to introduce new products, maybe diversify into new products as well. And how fashion houses do it is that they develop a product for each season. So that's how they get you to continuously buy these really expensive purses or clothing, because it's something that they know that customers want to diversify their wardrobes. So they're going to continue that. So as a Louis Vuitton strategic business unit, they're going to tell the CEO Arnault, we're going to expand to Japan. We're going to go in. We're going to invest in an African store, and we're going to continue our new purse product lines with maybe new different types of materials. The corporate says, okay, sounds good. Go ahead. But then they're going to be measuring you. And they want to know, are you going to be the strategic business unit that's going to make me the most profits? And that's based off of market growth rates and your market share. So is Givenchy a bigger brand than Louis Vuitton? Yes, it is. We know that. But is Louis Vuitton a bigger brand than Moet Hennessy, for example? Well, we don't know that. But what corporate will do is grab the financials and identify which strategic plans a business unit should do based off of the financials. So in the case of Louis Vuitton, Africa ended up being a star, and stars are often heavy investments, but they have high rapid growth. So Louis Vuitton would say, yes, go after Africa. We identify that it's going to be a high investment, but go after it. For Japan, they say we got a really great market share there, but the growth rate, it's a little bit low, but we have a high market share. People still love us. So that's our cash cow. So we're going to continue to invest there. But you know what? Those Louis Vuitton leather suitcases, they were slow sales. So that is a dog. And so that has low market share and low growth rates. So we don't want you to sell any more suitcases. So that's how they identify through financials using this BCG growth share matrix, whether it's a star, a question mark, a cash cow, or a dog. Again, here is a target. So make sure you understand how to utilize this. All right, so we're now into objective 3, which is, all right, we now got approval to do our strategic plans in Africa. We were told don't do the suitcases in the stores, get rid of those, but Japan's good. And make sure that you create value. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to partner with different departments in Louis Vuitton. We're going to partner with designers and marketing and finance. And what that's called is a value chain. That's where we're going to use the best designers and best of marketing to create the best products for the African store, for example. And we'll probably need to be sensitive to their cultural needs, and that's why you get everybody involved. You're also going to partner with other marketing systems. So Louis Vuitton can then partner with duty-free shopping or airports to maybe sell off the suitcases that were dogs, but we got to sell them off anyway. So we're going to maybe send them off to the duty-free shopping and the airports and see if they can sell them for maybe a discount. So again, I'm going to create value through internal departments, and I'm also going to create value across my network of suppliers, distributors, and my customers to make profits. So the next part is, all right, well, now that we know that we're going to go into Africa and Japan, what are you going to do with that? And who are you going to target and what products are you going to sell? So just to reiterate from chapter 1, a target market is all of your marketing that you put forward to a specific group of people. Then market segmentation allows your target marketing to become more specific. So it divides people into male and female and teens and adults, and it groups them into shared characteristics. So for example, in Japan, I'm going to focus on the Japanese high-end consumer. I'm going to focus on females for a new product line that I'm going to come out with. And then potentially I'll create a new product for males. Maybe I'll create like a shaving case. And so you created a target market of high-end consumers and separated it between male and female, and then specific needs of each target market. And that's called market segmentation. So what we're showing you here is how to manage your strategic and marketing mix. So obviously, you always put your customer in the middle, and you identified who you're going to target and how you will segment off into different markets, the male and female in Japan. And then what you got to do next is you got to figure out what your marketing mix is. And what the marketing mix is basically your tactical marketing tools, which is your 4Ps. That's your price, your place, and your promotion. So Japan, we know, is a cash cow. And what we'll identify is what 4Ps we will put into place and create a marketing strategic plan all the way through implementation and measuring of metrics. So here is just a little picture of Louis Vuitton Japan. And again, Louis Vuitton, here is the customer segment. It's males. There's more males in this line than there is females. So that's why they're going to focus on that marketing segment of males and potentially the like a mini little shaving bag. And then there's females as well. And then you can also look at the demographics, and it's middle age to older aged consumers that are in this line. So we're going to focus our 4Ps on those marketing segments. So we're going to create a product that is focused on their needs and wants at the price point that they want. We'll create promotions that really impact them and are meaningful to them. And we're going to put our stores in Japan in places where they have easy access and places that they love to shop. And that's basically what you're doing is you're putting the customer in the middle, and you position yourself through the 4Ps against your target market, which is the overall consumer, and then break it down even a little bit further to marketing segments, which is the male and the female, 35 to 45. All right. So the CEO says, great, I love your Japanese plan. Just write it down. Tell me what it's going to do and tell me what the return on investment is going to be. So the marketing team will then work with the strategic business units, and they'll create a marketing effort, or they'll go through a marketing effort of analyzing, planning, implementation, and control. So they plan with the strategic business units. They've developed marketing plans. They implement and carry out the plans, and all in all aspects and all steps of this, they're continuously analyzing so that they can control and measure. Every company has to submit monthly business statements, sometimes even weekly business statements, that are telling executives how well they're doing or not doing against a plan, so that they can evaluate the results and then take corrective action as needed. One of the other things that a marketing organization will do is a SWOT analysis. And again, here's a target, so make sure that you read this section in the book, because you'll have examples on the exam where you'll need to identify opportunities, strengths, weaknesses, and threats of a company, and identify what kind of strategy the company will need to take. So strengths are internal capabilities that can help you meet your objectives. External are opportunities, and those are positive factors that can help you. And threats are negative factors that can help you. So for example, in Louis Vuitton Japan, an internal strength is that their brand is really well known and that their customers are really loyal. A weakness may be that an internal weakness may be that they are having a hard time getting really great customer service agents. So that could impact their ability to sell. An external positive could be that a recent surge in the economy has made it that more people are wealthy and can afford their products, so they're going to take advantage of that. And a negative could be that there's going to be a tax in Japan on luxury products. So these are internal and external, positive and negative aspects. So every marketing plan would normally go through a SWOT analysis. Then they would go through a creating of a marketing plan. And a marketing plan involves choosing the strategies and identifying threats and opportunities, objectives, marketing strategies, creating really minute, detailed action plans, budgets, and controls. So once the CEO gives you your objectives and identifies that you're good to go with they've given you a budget, then the marketing team will work with the strategic business units and create a very detailed marketing plan with all these aspects in it. And based off of that, they will need to ensure that their marketing investments actually create a marketing return. So if you're going to get $2 million of marketing, you better be generating $6 million of sales, because you have to not only cover the marketing costs, but you also have to get a 30% return on investment with all of the other costs involved. So it's really, really critical to ensure that you're always measuring your return on marketing investment, which is your profits, which again really measures your value, which is again measures your loyalty and the relationship that your customers create with you, because that in the long term is what continues them to purchase from you. So we're at the end of the chapter. Just to recap, we talked about how strategic plans are made at a company level in the 4 steps, all the way from mission statement for Louis Vuitton, all the way to the strategic business units. We identified strategic business units like Louis Vuitton within the larger scale of Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, and some growth strategies like going into existing markets or developing new products. We talked about how they could partner with internal groups to create a new product for Africa, for example, or how they could partner with duty-free shopping to sell off products that weren't doing so well, the dogs, such as the suitcases. And then we described how to drive customer value mix with the 4 Ps by positioning your product to specific target markets like the high-end consumers, and then breaking it down even further into market segments. So for the example there was the Japan customer segment groups, the males and the females, and specifically the males seem to be purchasing a lot from Louis Vuitton Japan. And how are you going to position your products, promotions, and placement, and your pricing to them. And then last but not least, making sure that you always have a plan and it's detailed out that then goes back to a return on investment. So your next steps are chapter 2, homework on La Lima, and then watch chapter 3 videos and homework, and then the ethics assignment as well. Till next time, mahalo.